Monaro build, episode number 24. So, what am I doing? Righto. Well, I have done the hard lines. So I'm just checking for fuel leaks. This is actually Teflon hose, a little bit over the top, but that's what we're running with. So the hard lines are done. The fuel pressure regulators are done. I had a water fuel leak under here, and just to the rear is a grub screw. So I took that out. It had no sealant on it, so I took that out and sealed it up like I have done with everything else. Everything's been sealed with this Permatex aviation former gaskets. Apparently one of the best products on the market. So everything's sealed with that, and I think that's just about it. So the fuel pump's all wired up. I did have a fuel leak under the car. I'll get down and I'll show you. Oh, righto. So under here, where am I looking? On the inside one there. I didn't do these fuel lines. They were as loose as anything, to be honest. I was a bit disappointed how loose they were. But I did have a fuel leak there. Look, to be honest, I was expecting a lot more fuel leaks. I really was. But all the work I've done, all those joining the hard lines on down there to there, and all the ones in the boot, none of them have leaked. So I've got 20 litres of fuel in the boot. I can pretty much start it again if I want to. I might just leave it for a minute. I want that. I want to make sure that gasket stuff seals up the grub screw there, and then I'll put the fuel on again and just to make sure that that's gonna not leak and there's no other fuel leaks. That's the #1 priority today. But yeah, kicking goals, moving forward. I'll keep you posted. Righto guys, I've kicked it in the guts. Fuel pressure around 7. Don't worry about all that, that's just water. I wanted to put water there because of that fuel leak, so that's just water. She's just idling away. Temperature gun. Check the alternator. I'll do that now. Can't seem to get any readings on the alternator. sure what the go is with that. Mainly doing this to check for fuel leaks, amongst other things, but doesn't seem to be any fuel leaks. G'day legends, forgive my look, I've just finished mowing the lawn, it's a bit sweaty. Warm day here in Perth, end of the year, last day of the year. What am I up to today? Well, what I'm up to today is getting the steering column and everything sorted out, once and for all, to do it properly. This was semi-collapsed, and I believe you can replace them. I believe they're supposed to be, repair them should I say, I believe they're supposed to be about 795 mil in length, and they're all the same between all three models. So what I've been doing, that's 785 right there. What I've been doing is just, I've drilled the out of this particular, this is basically a sleeve that slides up and down over here, and there's little plastic pins, and you can replace them with like knitting needles or whatever, so that they will be collapsible again. So what I'm doing is I've been giving it a little tap, and then get this little drill with a perfect size drill bit and just drilling it and seeing if I can find the holes on the other side, you know, on this piece, so I can get it lined up perfectly, and then I'm going to repin it. So in order to do it, I've just been getting this chisel, whack it there, and just give it like a small tap and move it out, you know, half a millimeter, if that, and then re-drill it again and see if I can locate where these holes are for the original holes. So I'm doing that. This is the boss for the steering wheel. That's in pretty ordinary looking condition, so I want to repaint that. This is the original one off the car. It's the steering column surround, and it's broken there. So I've got a new one, which is this one. So that needs repainting. And while I'm at it, we might as well repaint that. It doesn't look too bad, but it's a little bit dirty. So I don't think I'll do the painting today because I want plastic paint for that and to do it properly. I haven't got any plastic paint for that. Lastly, I'm replacing this because I managed to break this, and I managed to snap the where the indicator screws on. So it was about time that I got all this sorted once and for all and done it properly. So that's exactly what I'm doing, is just I'm going to start with putting that, locating those pins, or lining these up for the pins internally. Hopefully I'll, just by tapping it gently each time and trying to re-drill it, hopefully I'll locate, the drill will push through the plastic on the other side easy enough, I'm hoping, although it's proving to be a bit of a laborious task. But I figure the more, if I just keep doing it, just tapping it just a little bit, I should be able to eventually line it up, and then once it's lined up, drill the plastic one out of this piece, because I've already done the outside and this side of this sleeve section, drill through there, and then line it up and repin that. So that's done properly. Paint these items, and I can put the steering all back together, and then the steering's done. So it is a warm day here in Perth. I think it's about 35 or something. So yeah, I'll keep going with that, and if I find those internal holes, I'll run you through the process of what I'm going to do to find it. I'm also using just a bit of hard copper wire every now and again, just sort of pushing that through, see if I can locate any holes which to date haven't been successful. So I'll keep going. Hopefully less than a millimetre, and then just drill that. I figure if it hits the plastic, it'll go through. So if it's not going through, it's not lined up. So I'll keep going. Slow task, but I figure I'll get it right. Righto, I hope I'm going to give you the correct information here, but here's what I've found out. If you go past the point where you should be, what I found is there's a little plastic sleeve or whatever you'd want to call that, and an indent in the shaft. Now, basically, the pin only goes, it doesn't go all the way through this shaft. It only goes down to the bottom of that indent. So that's good to know. Pleased that I've worked that out. So what I'll do is I'll put a block of wood on this end of the shaft, and I'll just bang it down. I'll just take a measurement from there to there, and I will an accurate measurement, and then I'll bang that shaft down so that hole there is lined up in the center of this recess or in the shaft, and I'll bang a pin straight into there as far as I can. It'll only go down that far, and that's what holds it. So there's that one, and then on this side there's a larger hole. Hopefully you can see that just in here. Which doesn't appear to do much, but look, at least I found out how it goes. That one, try and do this, holding onto the camera. So for anyone else that is looking to do the job, at least now you'll know where it is. And what I'll do is I'll take a measurement, make sure it is 795. I'm pretty sure it is. I read from a couple of reliable sources on the old internet. So if I take a measurement from that hole to where that's going to go, I'll probably just prise that back off just so I can see the center of that. And that is I don't want to do it in inches. Let's do it upside down. That is bang on 2 centimeters, 20 mil, bang on. So all I have to do is bang that in 20 mil. So mark. And funny enough, see that line there? That's the line at which I thought I had the pin, but I just couldn't go all the way through. So it actually corresponds exactly with, this will be here when it's exactly in the middle. So as soon as that comes to that line there, we are smack on in the middle of that. Beautiful. So that's good. I shall get a lump of wood so I don't damage that spline. And I'll just knock that in. Right, so this could be an issue. So we are now just up to that line. I'm going to go just a smidgen more. I think that needs just a bit more, and we'll call it a done thing. And if I go there, yeah, so there's a gap there. So that means that is further down in that recess on the shaft. So if you couldn't see what I did there, I'll just put the drill bit in and notice that, like if we had to measure that, let's call it 7 mil, but if we come out here, let's call it 9 mil or whatever the case is. So, and the back one, again, and again. So yeah, we're good. So what I need to do now is get some knitting needles, I believe, and you just tap them in there, tap it, and tap one through there. And then I can set about rebuilding this. So plastic knitting needles apparently do the job. So I'll source some of them probably tomorrow. Today's a public holiday, or Sunday. Tomorrow's New Year's Day, so it probably won't be tomorrow, but I will source some of them soon. In the meantime, this can sit here. I'm just going to take a measurement of that for you. And I'll get some plastic paint also, and we'll paint those things and put all this back together. So if I measure, just screw that in. The length of the shaft's supposed to be 795. So if I measure that, now I don't have 795. I've actually got 788. 788 is what I've got, but I know that that is lined up, and that's where that's where I want it to be. That's going to be the right length for me, 788. That is what it is. So happy days, another job done, and I'll get you back when we paint these. We'll give that a light sand, and this, and then we can rebuild all the horn and put all that back in. And I'm doing this so that I can get that new one of these in, because I've got to start wiring the car. So I needed to replace that. I need to get the steering sorted. So yeah, that's why I decided to tackle that particular task. And look, I'm stoked. I've worked that out. That's a big thing. I was always nervous. I had that in there, it fully extended, but I just felt like it wasn't actually, I wasn't sure. I think I'd knocked it out. I know it had collapsed, and then I just couldn't be sure that it was, well, how do I know it's going to hold up? It needs something in there to hold it. And I hadn't done it properly, so I decided to, whilst it was all apart, to do that properly. So I'm glad with that result. So cheers, guys. All right, legends, I've been down to my local Spotlight sewing store and found some plastic knitting needles. Now, I remember when my grandmother used to knit, and most of the needles were all plastic, but these days they all seem to be steel, so it was a bit of a problem trying to find plastic ones, but plastic ones I did. Righto, so I figured this small little one would do the job. Let's see how we go. So I think it's a little bit wider than that the perfect sized drill bit, but that's okay. What I think I'll do is get some pliers, I'll cut it down, and then I'll just tap it in and we'll see how it goes. Righto. So let's see if Grandma's knitting needles can fix the steering column. What do you reckon? Now, this one, if I do the same, and then I think I have to just sand them down just a little bit. They're just a bit too wide. Now, I don't reckon that's going in far enough. So I might have to drill that one out again, using the little drill bit, and then reduce the size of those a little bit. It's getting closer and closer to the size, I think. Right, there you go. So there's flush, done flush. And we need one long one there. Righty ho. I am satisfied that that is now restored how it's supposed to be. Happy New Year, trendsetters. Righto, what are we going to do today? Do a little bit of painting, finish doing that steering column. So what I did is I went and bought some Scotch-Brite pads from the Big Green Shed, Bunnings. And I need to just give these a bit of a, this is the steering column. I think I showed you yesterday, this one's chipped, the broken part. So I've sourced another one, which was good. And just the steering boss, so we'll give it a light rub up. This one is Rust-Oleum paint and primer, gloss black. And for the, which I'll put straight onto the to the plastic, but for this metal, I will give it a black etch primer first, and then we'll spray the gloss black onto that. So I'll give this a bit of a rub up, and then we'll clean it with the metho, and we should be good to go. So rather than boring you with the whole thing, I will just film bits and pieces of it. So I'll turn that off there. Yeah, getting there. We just want to scratch that surface up so the paint's got something to adhere to. What are you doing there, young fella?
Scratching the paint.
Yeah, what for?
To put, so the paint
Sticks to it.
Sticks to it and doesn't scratch off.
You boy. He's learning. He's learning. He's helping Dad and he's learning. Good stuff. So I've done that with the Scotch-Brite pad. I was just running over this with the Scotch-Brite, and as much as it is roughing it up, I think I might just go with a light sanding on that instead. So I'll go and get some sandpaper and give that a light sand instead of Scotch-Brite, I think. There we go. I'll go and do that now. I've got a roll of 180 grit here. That should do the job nicely, I would say. Yeah. I guess that other stuff would have done the job, but I just wanted to make sure those surfaces are properly keyed, and also where all the paint was missing on there was, you know, you could feel it was uneven, like around there you rub your finger and it wasn't smooth. So I guess I just wanted to smooth that out a bit to make sure there was no, not that I'm a bloody professional at all, but make sure there's no imperfections at all in the surface before I went over it, which I guess, because I'm not a professional, using a gun and what have you, that this is probably the best way to do it. Get it done nice and properly. It doesn't need much, just a bit of a rub. That's pretty good. Yeah, and then I'll just go, can't remember how much of this is visible, probably none. The horn button goes in there, I guess, but I'll give it a touch up nonetheless, to make sure it's all done properly and good coverage. Probably won't hurt, eh? I also gave that, I'd say that's something for the horn, I could be wrong, but that brass looking thing, that contact pad, I'd say might be for the horn, so I gave that a bit of a rub up while we're at it. The rest of it I will tape up, and then I will give it a wipe down with some metho. I always used thinners before, but I was talking to the lady in the shop yesterday. She said thinners is a little bit oily, which I didn't know, but that doesn't surprise me because I don't know much. So she says you're better off using metho or something like that. Oh, right. So we'll do that. Tape that up. Anything we don't want black, I'll tape up. Probably just a little centre nut. Doesn't get on that. So I'll give it a quick rub down with the metho, and then we should be good to prime those other ones. Oh, what's going on? What have I done here? Squeeze, cap and turn. Righto. So just wiping all the fingerprints and oil and grease so that the paint will stick to this lovely. Give it a nice clean. Nice rub down. Get any dust and marks off it. Give that paint a good chance to stick to it. One thing I haven't had for a while, since I've had the since I built the new shed, is somewhere to just hang stuff. You know, so I just bloody rigged up this bar. The bar wasn't long enough, but that's high enough. And I'm not gonna, you know, bump my head on it or knock anything on it. So that'll do the job, and that just gives me somewhere where to spray. Happy days. It's had two. This is the second coat of etch primer. Alright, that's a good second coat. Alright. Film is not very good today, is it? Anyway, so I'll let that dry and I'll come whack a second coat on those bits of plastic, and we should be pretty right. That's cut quite well, isn't it? Like the, you know, we know that was blue. So, yeah, good. Happy days. Actually, what I'll do, that edge primer is just about dry. It doesn't take long to dry. I'll wait till that dries, and I'll just give that its first coat of top coat, along with these, and I'll give that some time to dry, and I'll come back and whack another 1 or 2 coats of top coat on it. Sweet. G'day everyone. So I finished painting these. Painted them with gloss black. Come out really good. There's the old one. I cracked it there when I managed to snap the indicator off. So the new ones are looking pretty good. There's the bottom shroud, or the shroud, so that looks good. Painted the boss black. That's a gloss black as well to match that. However, the horn is a satin black, and I believe that shouldn't be gloss, so I painted that a while ago, and that's looking good. Now, before I can put all that back together, you can see all the rust on the steering wheel. Surface rust everywhere, particularly bad on the back of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restore that. So I've got myself, let's get them out of the way so we don't get them grubby. And I don't damage them after painting them. Right, so I've got myself some water in a dish and some wet and dry. This one's 492 grit. So I'll probably start with that. And then we'll just give them a rub in. And then I'll probably just go to a less grit, work my way down, inside out for a final polish. And that'll do that. So I won't bore you with sitting here watching me rub this back. Well, I'm putting together the steering and I'm working it out, but typical me, what I've done is I've put this down here, the wire and the plug, and what I found is that before all that goes on, you actually have to put it through this, and this needs to go on before all the other stuff, because these little tabs in there sandwich between there and there. So I'm working it out, but across, typical me, always doing things the hard way and over again. So I've just about got it back together and then realised when I went to put that over that I had to put it all apart again. But that's part of the fun. But sometimes I find I've just got to, I'm not at that stage yet, but sometimes I've just got to bloody walk away and have a, you know, come back to do it tomorrow, you know what I mean? Because it just does my head in sometimes. But I don't recall pulling that apart. I don't think I did. I think the panel beater did that, which is probably why I've got no idea how it goes. Well, I do have an idea now, but it's taken me so long to work out how it goes back together. But, you know, we are getting there. So I'll pull this out, which entails loosening all these bolts under here, all the adjusting bolts and all that sort of stuff. Then I can pull that out. Then I can put that on, and then I can put the wire through there, come out there, and then reassemble. So I'll film it as I go, but cross, do my head in. Okay, this is the order that things need to go. No bolts in the steering column holding it up. This then appears to slide over there. Yes, yes, success. Once you've done that, the new, oh, that's the other thing I had to do, was pull the old bearing off there, and you've got to put the thrust washer, wave washer and another washer on top, followed with a circlip. So a bit hard to film all this, so there we go. Right, so that goes over there like so. Push this on. Right, that's home. Thrust washer, wave washer, and extra washer on top. Circlip. Okay. Then these screws can go in here to hold that together. And in order to get that to go in far enough, what I found is you need to line the spline up in the steering box shaft. Righto, success. Finally. What we did, we worked out we had to line the spline up first. So, in order for that steering column or steering shaft to be pushed in far enough so that the 3 bolts that hold the indicator assembly into the whole bloody thing, the shaft needs to be in far enough, which now it is. Now that's in far enough finally. So there's no bolt holding that, but the bolt's just there on top of the air cleaner. So that's in. Once you've got the shaft in, you can then line this up, put that on, and that feels good. I think we've got it right. So once you've got all that together, then I believe this goes on. Then the wheel can go on. So I will get some screws, put the wheel on and show you. And the last bit of the horn is you've got 4 screws, the springs, and then they go in there. And there you have it. So just those 4 screws, and that in theory should activate the horn and hopefully not bloody catch on anything. Now I don't see that wire having an issue at the moment, so there we go. Another job done. But I just wanted to clarify something. I had this headlight cable travelling down the top of the shaft right the way through, and I found out that that's actually not the way to do it. I had to ask the question. It pops out before the shaft, so what I've had to do is just pull that apart so that I didn't pinch that cable and damage it, which I don't believe I've done. I'm not 100% where it pops out, but that's loose. That's loose in there and it's not going to get damaged. So wherever that pops out, that'll be fine. I'll be able to sort that out. So now it's just a matter of putting these horn back together for the last time, and then that'll be finished. So I think with that I'll wrap up this episode, and thanks for watching, and if you like what you're watching, please hit the like and subscribe. 950 subscribers now. I think 70% of you people watching my videos aren't subscribers, so hit the subscribe button, helps out the channel, and I'd appreciate that. Thanks very much, and I will start the wiring next episode. So cheers guys, thanks very much.